The following is brought to you by paulakers.net.
Paul, over to you, my friend.
Okay, so here's the cool thing, everyone. Today, we're going to hear from Isaac again. Remember, Isaac is 20 years old. This is the result of the combination of two things: amazing parenting by Richard Fuller, his father and his mother, and then the combination of lean thinking. When you put great parenting and lean thinking together, you get Isaac. And Isaac is going to blow us away, because what we're going to see today is really life-changing for any organization. I love it. I'd love to implement this at FastCap. Take it away, Isaac.
Hello, everyone. Isaac from County Battery here. And as Paul said, welcome to the second County Battery tour of AME. If you missed the first one, you can watch that back. It's on the AME YouTube channel. Just to give you a quick insight into who we are and who I am. I am one of the managers at County Battery. I've worked here for about 5 years, 6 years, since I was really young. And we distribute and manufacture batteries all over the UK and Ireland. I'm stood in our morning meeting area now. This is where we have our morning meeting, as most people in 2-second lean do. And behind me here, you can see our principal boards with our 8 wastes and our improvement tracker, which you can see in the last tour. But in the last tour, we did a focus on something called a Kamishi buy board, which, if I just flick this camera around, you can see one of those there. It's that green and red thing with a load of people's faces on it. And that helps us to do task management. But another focus that we have, and that's what we're going to look at today, is people development. And I'm going to show you how we make our people happy. We make sure that they've got targets, and we make sure that they know what they need to do to develop their career. So as I walk past the Kamishi buy, which was last time's focus, I'm going to take you upstairs to our conference room and show you something called the Lean Pathway. And this is something that we review with every single team member. We've got 17. We review that every month. That's me and another manager. So we spend a lot of time. It takes about 2 days to get through it all, but we value our people. Now, I've stopped on the stairs in our warehouse here to show you that we've actually put up here, this was Richard's improvement, the 8 deadly wastes. They're on the stairs. So whenever we have an employee walk upstairs, they can see the 8 wastes, because we are all about continual improving people.
And Isaac,
another thing,
where did your dad find that? Where did your dad see the staircase idea? Muy importante.
I don't know.
Japan, in Hawks. That was in Hawks.
Is that where he saw it?
In the schools, elementary schools, they have math problems when you're walking up the steps. Go ahead.
Brilliant. Okay, another thing that I'll show you as I walk towards our meeting room is Ryan Tierney, Seating Matters. He donated this flow board to us, and if you don't know about that, I suggest you go to his YouTube channel and check that out. And then now we've reached our conference room, which is behind me. This is where we come every month with every employee, and we go through this lean pathway to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that they've got goals, and to make sure that they know what they need to do to continually improve their career. So right now, I'm going to share my screen with you, which you can see there. Lovely stuff. And I'm going to talk you through this lean pathway. So in front of us here, you can see this odd-shaped wheel thing and a list of categories of a person's life. That's on the left. And what we do, we take an employee, a team member, and we ask them to give each aspect of their life that's on the left a score out of 10. And they might come on here and go, well, I'm really happy with my family, so I'm going to leave that a 10. Relationships isn't too good, so I'm going to give it a 6. Career I'm happy with. My health's not good. I'm going to give it a 4. And then my money, I'm not happy with that either. I'm going to give it a 3. And you can see that this wheel has changed from a nice round ride through life into this obscure shape where if you put that on a bike, it's not going to roll very far. So we've now assessed the person's life. Well, what do? We discuss with them and we speak about solutions to their problem. Now, you can see that we've got an issue with relationships here. Well, the first thing that we always say is buy flowers. If your wife's annoyed with you, it's the best solution. It always tends to work.
But
also,
in some cases, diamonds work better. But just saying.
I think that's just you, Paul. None of us lot can afford diamonds. But this is also quite personal about people's lives. Sometimes it's just a problem shared as a problem half. It's not always, we're not always going to cure everything, but we come down to health. So if someone comes and says you've got bad health, and we're always trying to fix the root cause of our problems. So we'll be saying, well, is it your diet? Is it your attitude towards health? Is it a lack of regular exercise? Well, we say, go read Lean Health. We have the book. You can take it, you can listen to the audio book, and you can sort out your problems with health.
And maybe another target, Isaac, might be walk 5 minutes a day or go for a 15-minute walk after work every day, something like that. And then you're holding them accountable to this.
Exactly. So when they come back, the next month, we review this over again, this that I've just highlighted, and we want to see improvement. And if it's not improved, either the thing that we set to do was wrong or they didn't do it. So, we're holding them accountable.
And so do you track that? Is there a way to track whether or not they're actually doing it? And I'm just asking.
Well, because the wheel should be rounder.
Right.
So we see the improvement there and then.
I know. Can you, I'm just real quick, can you go back and look at the history? Like, do you see the wheel progressively getting a little more round? Just a thought. Not really.
No.
Okay, no problem. I'm just curious.
Okay. So then we move on down, and you see this person's not very happy with their money. Now, unlike some of the other categories, this is one that we can directly impact because we actually pay the people that work here. And if they want to know how to get more money, we take this system here, which is called the pathway, and I'm going to explain that really quickly. So at the top here on the left, you can see we've got mandatory tasks. Now, these are things that within the first 3 months of employment, an employee needs to do to keep a job here. So they're things like making a daily 2-second improvement, 30 minutes of 3S every day, knowing the 8 wastes, knowing your mission statement, which is on our meeting board. You can see that in our last video. Then as we move to the right along the top, you can see we've got 1-point task, 2-point task, 3-point task, 5-point tasks, and 10-point tasks. And then underneath here, we have different things that an employee might do. And going from left to right, the difficulty increases. So we get more points for a more difficult job. And this is something you have to do consistently. And the more points that you accrue as an employee, the more money you get paid. And it works almost like a tax bracket. If you have this many points, you get paid this much. If you have this many points, you get paid this much. So it's actually guidelines for our employees to see, and then they know what they need to do to develop in their career, get promoted, get pay rises, which will help with their money. So if we look at here, and we might say, look, I need to get more money. I'm going to do this 5-point task here of managing 1 staff member. You have to ask yourself, well, what do I do to get 1 staff member? And it might be that your processes aren't good enough. You don't have a Kamishi buy board, so your staff don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to put in here, make a Kamishi buy board.
Excelente.
Yeah, so we can see by next time you should have the guidelines for your employees to follow, so you can be a manager, you can get paid more, you can replace yourself. Okay, and we review this every month, and it's ever changing like someone's life.
Wow.
Once we've completed this and we've done this, we then move on to the bucket list. And it's called the bucket list. The reason being, it's things that you want to do before you kick the bucket. And this is about people having goals. So we want people to be happy. Yeah, balance wheel. We want people to know how to develop their career. That's the pathway. Right now, we're looking at personal goals. Could be work, but let's do an example. Paul, what do you want to do before you kick the bucket?
I want to become a kite surf instructor.
And when do you want to do that by, Paul? Have you got a date?
3 months from now. Let's
3
say, yeah, November 30th will be my first first professional lesson.
And then, so the next step, what do you have to do from now to get one step closer to being a kite surf instructor?
Well, one thing is I have to take a minimum of 3 lessons per week and improve my skills.
And we're going to come back to this and the next review, which will be at the 1st of October. I know our dates are backwards. So we can basically hold you accountable again to you taking your 3 lessons to achieving your goal.
Yeah, and assuming if I hit this goal, then I'm naturally going to be happy because I'm progressing in life. So, and it's beautiful. This is happening at work. It's not happening on my own time. It's happening at work on your dime, which is really quite amazing of your commitment to developing people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and we do this with 17 staff every month.
And how long have you been doing it, Isaac?
We've been doing this for roughly 2 years, and this whole thing has changed an awful lot since we first started.
Wow. And you basically developed this whole concept.
So it was Richard, my father, that developed the balance wheel and the bucket list. Right. And the pathway this year, the pay scale thing, that was actually something that we stole from Ashley Bailey at Climb Easy. So he has a variation of this. It's different to ours, but we are indeed that. We stole it off him and implemented it.
Yay, Ashley. Now, one more thing, over to the right, over to the left, you have the mandatory things. Now, did you review with everybody that these are the mandatory things that you have to do to even work there? And if you don't do that, you're gone?
Yep. So on employment, we tell them you've got 3 months to do this. And if they stop doing those things, because we review that every month, they get a month to fix it and then gone, if not.
Wow. So, very, very serious. So the immediate thing I think about when I see this, Isaac, is you've removed all ambiguity to what the target is for the company, which is to have happy people, and how they can progress through the company, which I think in many cases is not really clear. And this is what I love about this.
It's a process to get a promotion.
Absolutely. It's not just a promotion, but it's a process how to improve your life at work, not just to get a promotion. I mean, you improve your life at work, you're going to get a promotion. The promotion is the byproduct of improving.
Definitely.
And I think we want to really emphasize that. We're not trying to make more money. We're trying to improve our life, and the byproduct is making more money.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and you should, hang on, if I do that, you should come back to me. And we are now, I'm going to give my headset to Kieran as he comes in this room, and we're going to ask him some questions. Paul, you all right to ask Kieran the questions, yeah?
Yeah, well, I want to ask a couple of things people are asking. We're just real quickly. They spend about 15 to 30 minutes. Someone's asking how long would eat for 15 to 30 minutes per person. There are 2 people involved. So it's basically they're committing about 16, 17 hours a month to doing this. And can you share the template? I'm sure you don't have any problem sharing the template, right?
No, you can have the template.
Yeah, there's no problem. So we'll get that shared. There's no problem. And we'll save the rest of them for the end, but we'll keep going. So go ahead. Let's do an interview of the 2 people that have actually done this.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it. Hello.
All right. Kieran?
Yes.
Kieran, how are you? It's Paul.
I'm not bad. How are you?
Good. So tell me about this system. Is this like crazy? And how long have you been working there? And did you think this was nuts when they first started doing this?
So I've been working here 3 years. It is actually quite crazy how it's actually developed. When I sort of started, we sort of had something basic, but it's nothing like what we've got now. And the system that we've got now just worked really well. And obviously it makes a lot of people happy here.
Interesting. So how did it personally affect you? Like where were maybe some deficiencies that you addressed that you would not have addressed if County Battery was not taking the time, the resources, and effort to do all this?
I would say the main things it's really impacted is my confidence. I'm sort of known to be like a shy, sort of timid person. So I used to not engage with a lot of people. But with working here and engaging with the people that I work with and engaging with this system that we've got, it's actually helped me gain a lot more confidence than I would have even imagined.
Wow. And how has that played out? What specifically have you done that's different than what you were doing that created the confidence level or that supported the confidence level?
I would say it's probably down to relationships. I think that's the main thing that's really improved with my confidence. So I've sort of been given the advice to go on online dating and going out more with friends socially to like restaurants or pubs, for example, or even just going out in general.
Wow.
It's really upped my confidence in general.
Fantastic. That's incredible. And so were you afraid at all when you first did this? Were you thinking to yourself, I don't really want to do this?
Because I was sort of a shy person, I thought this is going to be quite tough at first. But obviously, over time, you start to adapt and realize how well the system's actually working. And then obviously, your confidence just naturally grows from there.
Right. Wow. Okay. And Isaac, we have someone else that we want to talk to other than Kieran, right?
Paul, can I ask Kieran a question first?
No, go right ahead. Kieran, great job. To make sure you tell Kieran, great job.
Isaac, just pass it back to Kieran a second. I got to ask him a question.
Oh, you want Richard wants?
Yeah.
Oh. Yep, certainly. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you first joined and they started introducing you to the morning meetings, how did you feel when you had to host a morning meeting, Kieran?
It was actually quite scary. I've never actually done anything like hosting a morning meeting before. So when you sort of get to the front of the group and actually start to do it, it is actually quite scary. But obviously, with the people you work with around you, they support you and help you. They don't like to see you struggle. So obviously, the more you actually do the meetings day by day, the more confidence you actually grow. So it gains a lot of morale for that boost. So obviously, your time changes as well. So if you're saying doing a half an hour meeting, it then cuts down to 15 because your confidence and morale have been boosted that much.
Fantastic. Are you happy working for County Battery?
Oh, I've been happiest I've ever been.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is fantastic. Kieran, you're awesome. Great job.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's Kieran. What do you think to Kieran, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. What I'm very impressed with Kieran's ability to articulate these ideas with a smile on his face, which speaks directly to what the balance wheel and what your objective was, is that he's happy and he's able to communicate and he has more confidence. So I think that is amazing. But what I'm most blown away with, that you have the vision and the insight to invest this time and money and resources into doing this for your people. I think it's remarkable. I've never actually seen this done before.
Yep. So it's worth it. It's all worth the time and money for the results that we get. So, okay. So next we're going to speak to Bobby. He's not been with us quite as long as Kieran.
Okay.
How long have you been here now? 3 or 4 months. So you get a longer term employee, and then you get a newer term one.
Oh, cool.
Bobby,
cool. Hey, Bobby, how are you? He can't hear me yet, but he'll hear me in a second.
Can't hear you
right?
yet. We'll get you. So hold that. I'll put this on you. So professional. There you go.
Hey, Bobby, how are you? This is Paul.
Hello, Paul. I'm all right,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
Good. So 3 months at County Battery. Is it kind of a crazy experience?
Yeah, it's been good. I've really liked it. Yeah, everyone
Very,
can help me. Carry on,
very
sorry.
different. Very different than your last job.
Yeah, very different. I feel more
so?
at home here.
Interesting. So what do you think of this whole balance wheel system? What do you think of this whole process that they put you through every month? Is that good? Is it bad? Did you like it initially? What were you thinking?
I was a bit confused at first because I've never heard of lean or like balance wheels. But as I've done more of it, it's grown on to me. And I think it's a really good system. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's good.
And were there some areas that you don't mind sharing that you felt you were deficient in that you're working on as a result of this system? Something that you're working on? Yeah, go ahead.
So health-wise, ever since I've started this balance wheel, I've started playing football now, or the Americans call it soccer. Going out for the weekend.
The colonies call it soccer. It's not Americans. We're the colonies.
Colonies. All of them.
Depends where you're from.
Yeah. So yeah. I've been buying my girlfriend flowers. I'll mention that today.
Wow. Yeah. You're really improving, boy.
Yeah. She sees improvement in me.
Yeah. You know what we say lean? You know what we say lean is? Lean is advanced training for husbandry.
Yeah. Oh.
This is how we make a good husband, as you teach him lean.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully I'll become a good husband.
Yeah, that's good. So there's two areas that you've been working on. And do you think in the 3 months that you've been there, you're actually a little happier because those areas are being addressed?
Yeah, definitely. I'm altogether waking up in a good mood now, looking forward to coming to work, seeing all my workmates. It's just a happy vibe around here.
Wow. That is amazing. Wow. I just love that. So what is the single best thing about working at County Battery? I'm curious. If there's one thing that makes it better than anything you've ever experienced before, what is the one thing?
So while working at County Battery, I've been lucky enough to get my forklift license.
Say it again?
I've been lucky enough to get my forklift license.
Okay, got it.
So personally, like ever since as a child, I've just been interested in like just how they work. So it's gave me a big opportunity to learn how to drive them, ride them, and just help around everywhere.
And why is that special? Because you don't think at your last job you would have had that opportunity if you wanted it?
Oh no, definitely not. Once we got it.
So what's different? What's different with County Battery than the last job?
More understanding, better member of the staff, altogether.
Just more interested in people and you.
Yeah.
And not just making money.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Real human development, which we say this is a human development system. Lean is a human development system. Well, Bobby, you're awesome. I'm going to let you give everything back, give the microphone back to Isaac. We really appreciate your time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, Isaac.
There we go.
Wow. Just incredible. Incredible. And there's no one else that we're going to see. Michael was not available.
No, Michael, we were unsure if he'd be back from the doctors in time. I've just looked out the window. His car's not there. So unfortunately, we'll have to miss Michael.
Okay, so I say, is there something else you want to share, Isaac? Because I think we should go right to Q&A and keep this as brief as possible.
No, Q&A is good.
Richard, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And I got a couple of points, actually, Isaac. If you look at your pathway, when any of your employees actually achieve one of the tasks or the elements in the pathway, they're actually adding value to County Battery. They're adding value to the flow of your value through your organization.
And that's why so let me explain. A few years ago, before we really introduced the lean pathway or anything like that, it would be just manager's decision who was paid what money. And it was very confusing for people to know how to get pay rises and what they need to do. And if the manager can't communicate effectively, which more often than not in a lot of companies, I think that's the case, it's very tricky for the employee. So we saw Ashley Bailey's system and we wanted to implement that because we thought that it shouldn't matter how old you are, it shouldn't matter if you're male, female, if you're an apprentice, doesn't matter. If you add value, you'll be paid accordingly to the value that you add. So that's why we do that.
Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you're giving credit to Ashley Bailey. I think it's very important that as we learn these things, we point to the people that we learn them from. And Ashley is a spectacular lean thinker and has done a great job on so many counts.
Yes, good.
Richard, are there questions? So everyone can type their questions down below.
Yeah, so Trevor asks, what's County Battery's staff turnover look like? What's your attrition rate?
It's not bad. It comes and goes. Normally, if someone's not a fit, we can tell in them first 3 months. So I'd say once someone's with us, they're generally with us for a while. I'd say, I don't know exactly how long, but it's hard to say because we kind of 3S'd the staff a little bit at one point. So it was a lot all at once, but then since we've been doing the pathway, the longer we've been doing it, we've found that people are staying with us longer. So.
Fantastic.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So here's the next question. If your personal balance wheel was on a bike, would you have a smooth ride?
Yeah, I'm pretty all right. I'm pretty happy. Pretty well rounded.
What's your weakness? I'm curious. If there's one thing you want to be working on, what is it?
Probably career all the time. Even though I think I've got a good career, I think it can be improved. I don't give anything a 10 because you should be able to improve everything.
Right.
So, but career, I would say.
And what are you doing? And what are you doing to improve your career besides being subjected to me beating up on you all the time?
To improve my career, recently we had our financial year end, and as a result of what came out of that, because we don't just change financial targets, we change tangible things that are going to change the financial targets. Okay. And we decided that I should go through each department and work with the departments in order to implement the Kamishi buy board even further, because after we reviewed our tour, we saw a lot of gaps. So we want to get the systems working better. So to improve my career, I'm going to go around the company, each department, and improve the systems, which will in turn improve my career because it will allow me to have more time to develop and develop the company.
Well, very interesting, because I talk about this in my book, that one of the things that was so important for us is when we started doing tours after 1 year of developing our lean culture, the tours actually caused us to accelerate our growth because we saw all of our gaps, just like you saw your gaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have Dave Lalonic as a friend, like I do, a lot of you know who Dave Lalonic is. He is constantly pointing out all my gaps. So quite a few people to tell me all my deficiencies.
He's your conscience, Paul.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Any more questions?
Yeah,
Richard?
yeah, we've got some. Are there any people who have left your company, worked at another company, and realized that County Battery is the leanest organization in the region and come back, or wanted to come back?
No, we've not
yet.
Anyone
come back after leaving.
Okay.
No. And I just know of a situation right now with Jack in the UK where people have left and realized how incredible Jack's organization was and wanted to come back. And Jack did not let them back because he felt like they really didn't get it maybe enough. And I thought that was interesting because we've had that happen at FastCap and we've let people come back. And it's been, from time to time, it is effective. It works.
No, we've never had anyone want to come back, but we don't have many people actually hand in a notice and leave.
Yeah.
No, okay, that's an interesting one. So next question, is Nottingham seeing the same labor challenges that we've got in the States due to COVID? And if so, has
Yeah.
it been a challenge to maintain your principles as far as who you keep and who you don't?
No, I think that we're facing labor challenges, definitely. It's hard to find staff. But no, I think the main part of who we keep and who we don't comes when we employ a new person. So I suppose it's just more of a longer period of getting someone in, but we're willing to wait to find the right person. But no, it wouldn't affect keeping someone on that's doing a bad job. I'd just do it myself and work more hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next one. Pathway, point system. Can you just explain again how the points contribute to pay rises? And is it relative to the different roles that they play in the organization?
No, so we made it non-role specific, so it can be anyone can do anything. And the way it works is we have different tasks, and it's things that you would do consistently. So it could be anything from making improvement videos that will go on our social media to running 2 departments. And there's quite a big difference there, which is why we have a different point system. And once you reach a certain amount of points, you enter a new bracket of pay. So the points all add up and you accrue them, and then you're paid as to the value.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so you have a bracket system by the number of points that they've accumulated.
So Isaac, last question before you let you go. What does your bucket list look like? What have you got on your bucket list? Because you're only 20.
Oh, good question.
So you got 70, 80 years before you kick the bucket.
Yeah. I would definitely like a family. I think that the things that are on my bucket list are, I'd like a family at some point, house, everything like that. In terms of, there's nothing too crazy on there. I want to try and scribble out a whole scratch map, if you've seen them. It's a map of the world, and you scratch off where you've been. And I'd like to try and get as much of that off as I can, just see the world. I saw Paul's video of the Galapagos Islands. I'd like to go there. It looks nice. I like the idea of jumping in the sea, dead on the equator.
Oh, you saw that. That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
106 countries now, Isaac, and there's a great app called Ben, BEEN, and you can digitally track that, and it's beautifully presented.
Okay. I'll look at that. But yeah,
Fantastic.
seeing the world.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it. Isaac, on behalf of Paul, AME, Richard, and everyone else, we want to thank you so much for sharing all your stuff with us.
Thanks for having us.
And most of all, for being an excellent example of what a young man should look like.
Absolutely. Okay, so our next tour, everyone, is Wednesday, September 15th. We're going to visit Derek Holland, the Closet Doctor.
Brought to you by paulakers.net, where you'll find all Paul's books and lean resources for free, including the new 2-second Lean Play app, like Audible, but free. To listen to Lean is Lean on the 2-second Lean Play app at paulakers.net.